Thanks for taking the time to view this video and giving us the opportunity to present N1 Holdings product. My name is Wong. I'm the CEO of N1 Holdings Limited. Before I start my presentation, I just need to show you this slide, the disclaimer. And it's important for me that I spend the next few minutes to introduce our company, N1 Holdings. We understand transparency drives trust, and in this industry, dealing with trusted people, it's really a goal. N1 Holdings is positioned in the market as a direct lender in the Australian SME and property sectors. We provide innovative yet reliable funding solutions to the SME owners, project developers, and sophisticated investors. As you can see on the right-hand side of the slide, is a showcase of our awards since the inception back in 2011. N1 Holdings is established in 2011, and here's a brief snapshot of our milestones in the last decade. More evidently, we are listed as a public company on the ASX in the year 2016, and we were ranked by AFR as number 6 among the 100 fastest growing companies in Australia. Undeniably, our milestones could not be attained without the guidance and mentorship of our board directors. Apart from the executive management of the company, as you can see, myself as the executive chairman and Penny here as the CFO and executive director of the board. We also have Mr. Frank Garnes and Mr. David Holmes, who provides extremely valuable support to the growth of N1 Holdings Limited. Mr. David Holmes was one of the founding executives of Pepper Money, and Mr. Frank Garnes over the last 38 years have played really important roles, including board and chair roles for a number of Macquarie Group subsidiaries, both internationally and domestically. And behind the scene, these are my colleagues who have made the product that we offer possible. Rob, he is the compliance manager, and we have Heather Zhang as our head of distribution, and she is one of the main contacts if you have any scenarios that you wish to discuss with us. We have Britney, who is the reporting manager for our investors. Then we have Mick, Vincent, and Sarah, who forms the credit committee that look after your deals. Both Mick and Vincent also serve as the responsible managers for our Australian credit license. Interestingly, Mick, Vincent, and Sarah, they all come from different banks. Mick come from ANZ, while Vincent was from Westpac, and Sarah, most recently, before she joined N1, was from Commonwealth Bank of Australia. And this is just a slide that shows our footprint. We are Australian-based and headquartered in Australia. However, our deals are across all states of Australia. As you can see, we are trusted by many. It's our aim to become one of the most trustworthy lenders in the broker channel. You can Google N1 Holdings to look up more reviews. As of speaking, I think we have about 170 reviews on Google. Now that you have a general understanding of N1 Holdings, allow me to introduce our product offering. We call it One Lend. And for those who have done private lending before, I'm sure you understand how important it is to have a reliable lender. I'll touch on some market traps later on in this presentation. So who is One Lend? One Lend is a direct lending product for the SME owners, property developers, and sophisticated investors in Australia. We are a niche lender that sits outside the scope of traditional lenders. Our mission is to create innovative funding solutions to our clients and to achieve their short and long-term financial requirements. So why do we use One Lend? More notably, I think we have diverse and resilient funding, which is very important to be able to settle your clients' deals. And we work with brokers network to add value to their service propositions to their clients. Now that we know the product, let us explore why offering this product is an important add-on to your service. The market opportunities in Australia, specifically SME lending, is huge. With over 2.3 million SMEs in Australia, the potential market size is about $20 billion. And according to the ABA Economic Report in 2019, 1 in 5 SME owners need cash flow finance at least once a year. And among them, 40% is to maintain short-term cash flow liquidity. And if you look at the small, innovative, active businesses on your right-hand side of the slide, 32% of them saying a barrier to innovation is lack of access to additional funds. So I think it's important to let you know where we stand in the market as well. Among all the lenders that you can see on the market, we are a niche lender, as I've mentioned earlier. And in most instances, there are scenarios that benefit other lenders. But then to differentiate ourselves, we categorize industry lenders in those very different segments. So it's easier for you to identify where a deal should go to. In summary, we are non-NCCP lender, meaning business purpose loans. So for business borrowers who need quick funding within days and without financials available, that's where we come from. We focus on the strength of the asset or the security of the borrowing instead of the traditional quantitative servicing calculation. So when you have a deal, what would you be how would you be dealing with us? What would be the process? And this is the slide that shows us that how do we actually achieve application to settlement within days. Here's a simple outline of the process. And it's really that simple only. From receiving application to conditional approval, we can issue a term sheet to you within hours. Then we need some time for valuation to be done. The cost just needs to be covered by the borrower upfront. If it's a straightforward security type, such as an apartment or a house, we can always look up RP data and settle before the valuation report is delivered. It just helps to speed things up a little bit further. And borrowers need to obtain independent legal advice every time. There is no exception. That's to protect the borrowers, yourselves as a broker and ourselves as a lender. So along the whole journey, you can see ideally, it takes up only a few days. However, there will be some instances that we see legal holdup, such as providing VOI and some settlement outstanding items, for example, pre-settlement checklist, which can be as simple as providing a bank account evidence to confirm the receipt of disbursement so that we don't transfer money into the wrong account. And the next slide I want to show you is, I want to take the opportunity to show you what our credit team looks at when assessing a deal. There are a few things on this page. More importantly, we customize lending structure for your clients. For example, trust borrowers, and we focus on the strength of the security, as we mentioned earlier, funding purpose, and the exit strategy are also very important elements in getting the deals across the line and approved. And this is just a simple product summary page, which is straightforward and simple. We can also do second mortgage as per the first line. And the highlight here, I think, is we will be able to disburse up to $15 million per security within a short time frame. As we said earlier, our funding is readily available for immediate deployment. Our loan term, it's flexible. It can range from just 3 months all the way up to 36 months. If it's a straightforward residential security and metro location, that will obviously attract the best pricing in relative to a regional special use security that would be at the high end of the range. And we can do capitalized fees and interest, so you don't have to do monthly repayments. And the target audience of this product is usually SME owners, property developers, and sophisticated investors who really have complex lending structure and requirements that sits outside of the traditional scope of lenders in the market. And our lending is property backed, and we can be the interim solution for borrowers to transition into a bank's products, which is why we have our shortest loan term can be just 3 months. And by now, you may have wondered what type of properties we accept. Here's a list of them. But if you come across things that are not on this list, give us a call and we can discuss, or send us an email. And remember, when you call us or email us, you're speaking directly to decision makers. Here's just a quick summary of our niches and overview. Fast funding obviously is a significant strength of ours. We manage a pool mortgage fund, not a contributory fund. That means our money is readily available sitting in our bank account from day one, ready to deploy. So when you have an urgent deal, I don't need to ring around trying to get investors to be on board the deal. And once again, when you speak to us, you are speaking directly to decision makers. I think another strong niche that we have, and which is gaining popularity nowadays, is prestige property up to 80% LVR without financials. That's a very popular product right now. And before I go into some sample cases, I just want to briefly touch on the potential traps in the market. And in private lending industry, we have come across many borrowers who have had huge challenges because they didn't have a broker to help them navigate those traps. As you can see, term sheets, valuations, all the way down to default event, there are plenty of traps that brokers can help borrowers to avoid. And I guess they're all self-explanatory, or just go into the next slide that shows us a few sample cases. As you can see, we do accept various types of residential security for business purpose loans, and we also accept all types of commercial properties as security of our loans. I think the interesting one would be the farm at Mildura, Victoria, the one at the bottom of the slides. I hope it's helpful and useful for you. I hereby conclude my video here. Please reach out to me or my colleagues if you have any business finance or commercial lending scenarios that you wish to discuss confidentially.